welcome everybody. I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got the May astrology overview. A few things happening. I guess the biggest things happening this month are Pluto going retrograde and also Jupiter changing sign. But the usual parade of planets going into different signs and houses. So let's start off with the video and I'll give you a quick overview about what's happening this month. Firstly, to start with the moon, we're looking at the new moon first. It's in Taurus on the 7th of the month, and when we have a new moon, so this is when it looks dark in the sky and it's just before the crescent of light starts shining through. The other thing about it is that when it's a new moon, it's aligned with the sun. This is really good news because the sun and the moon together, they basically on the same page, things are moving forward and you can start to manifest new beginnings, new projects, new job, new relationships, things like that, whatever you want. In Taurus, it's an earth sign. It's ruled by Venus, and as an earth sign, it's very grounding and practical and stable. So this helps you get your feet on the ground and actually get going with new projects in the physical world. So it's not just about thinking about it or just being sort of full of fire and inspiration to do it, it's actually doing it. Venus also brings an appreciation for beauty, and in Taurus there's this sort of connection to the world of physical pleasures. Taurus is very sensual and loves to have facials and massages, generally speaking, and the world of luxury also appeals to Taurus because Venus does love beautiful things. So there is an emphasis on stability and practicality and building a sense of security. Most Taurians don't like to get divorced, not that anybody does like it, but more than other signs, Taurians generally want to stay married if they can. It is a great time to plant seeds of intention and to look towards financial stability, physical well-being, sensual pleasures, and of course building relationships. So during this lunar phase, it's a great time to slow down, take stock of your resources, focus on what really matters on a material level but also an emotional level. And it's a great time for setting intentions and for planning, especially about your finances, career goals or self-care. It's also good for just enjoying the simple pleasures of life, and especially get out into nature, cultivate a sense of gratitude, and do some practical things like gardening or cooking or any sort of hands-on work that brings you closer to the earth. And then we have the full moon, and it's in Sagittarius on the 23rd of May. So the full moon by its nature can be quite turbulent because the sun is opposite the full moon. So you have the two luminaries in your life at loggerheads. They're in opposition to each other. Sagittarius is a fire sign and it is ruled by Jupiter, which is known for its adventurous spirit, enthusiasm for life, thirst for knowledge and exploration. So a full moon in Sagittarius can bring optimism, expansion and a desire for freedom and adventure. But with the sun opposite, it can bring up insights and awareness around practicalities or around why you can't do the things that you want to do. You really probably feel like looking for the truth, finding the higher truths in life. There's probably a desire for freedom and adventure, and you just can't quite get there at the moment because the sun is showing you the things that are stopping you or hindering you, holding you back in some way at the moment. So it's only a temporary thing, it doesn't last forever. It's a great time though for travel and learning, expanding your understanding of the world and looking to other countries and the exotic. The exotic appeals more. You may want to break free from limitations, embrace spontaneity and tap into your sort of natural curiosity and wonder And it's not a matter that you can't do that, it's just a matter of maybe a bit of planning and practicality to associate with it. So you can probably still get the core of your dreams manifested or to come true, but there may be some issues around the periphery, if that makes sense. This will help you, this lunar phase will help you to examine your own beliefs and your philosophies towards life and other people. It's an opportunity to gain clarity on what really resonates with you on a spiritual level, and also to let go of any outdated beliefs or dogmas. If you might have been brought up in such and such a church, such and such a country, gone to such and such a school, all of that is programming. It doesn't necessarily align with your true, authentic inner self, although it may in some way, but maybe not fully. So the full moon in Sagittarius invites you to embrace your inner truth. You've got to embrace it on the inner level first before it becomes physical, basically. It'll give you more courage and conviction, and it's a great time to embrace diversity and equality as well. It's a path to spiritual growth, this full moon. So the next thing I want to talk about is Pluto Retrograde. It's in Aquarius on the 2nd of May. It'll also be in Capricorn. It'll go from Aquarius back to Capricorn until the 12th of October. It's in retrograde. It's probably not about what's going on around you physically in your physical world, but it is a time for great introspection and inner transformation. You may address deep-seated psychological issues. You may look at really deep, dark things, addiction, abuse, manipulation. But Pluto is the transformer. When I talk about Pluto and I put transform, I always put capital FORM, because it's forming something new. So a new beginning. Pluto is associated with birth, death and rebirth. So you rise like a phoenix from the ashes. In Aquarius, it can bring intense inner healing. On a very profound level, you might have a lot of insight during this time. You may confront deep-seated fears and traumas, or unresolved things from the past may come back. You may also look at your place in society, your place in the collective, and your own individuality. If you're buying into any sort of group think, this could show you whether or not that's truly for you. You may start to see ways that the groupthink doesn't suit you because you're an individual, you see. And if you're listening to any one person, moi included, and you take on anything that anybody else says, it doesn't mean it's exactly right for you. Obviously, a lot of people are doing their best to tell you the truth, but there's also a lot of people that are not. And you've got to really see what suits you and what actually vibes with you. You can feel it in your body when somebody tells you the truth, or when somebody lies, because there is a lot of, especially here on YouTube, there's a lot of dishonesty. And my personal belief on that is that it actually fragments the personality to start lying. And so, yeah, it's very hard to know who's who and what's what on YouTube, I find. Anyway, this brings up a time of reassessment of your values and to let go of trying to be in control, micromanage every detail. Just let go of that. You're likely to be looking at exploring your own subconscious, and it brings empowerment through self-awareness. So for all of this, you're likely to become more insightful and aware of what's really going on deep down in your psyche as you resolve different issues that have been sitting there perhaps for a very long time. Other things happening: Mercury in Taurus from the 15th of May to the 3rd of June. This is bringing in Taurus, as I said before, it's very grounded, and so this is helping you manifest your communications into the physical world. Mercury is also in charge of things like travel, transactions like credit card statements and things like that. So always check your credit card statement. I know a lot of people don't. I talked to a bank manager once, and he told me he didn't even check his credit card. I always check mine. And so I'd be saying, look at that. Mercury is turned direct, so scams always go on. Mercury is in charge of scams and tricksters as well. So just when it changes sign, it's very sensitive. When a planet changes sign, it's very sensitive, and so if something's going to happen, it's more likely to happen at that time. So Mercury in Taurus. So around the 15th, and then again around the 3rd of June when it changes and it goes into Gemini. These are times when you need to double check everything related to money. The sun goes into Gemini, bringing bright new opportunities, insight and awareness, stability, comfort, even some happiness. So you could find great happiness in just talking about your feelings to the neighbour over the back fence. It's also a great time for learning, for curiosity, for gadding about town in your local area, and just being peaceful and happy. Basically, the sun is the source of all life, so it's life affirming, this energy, the sun in Gemini, 20th of May until the 20th of June. Venus also in Gemini, 23rd of May to the 17th of June, bringing a beautiful, elegant, polite, courteous and loving energy. And again, it's in your local area, your neighbours, perhaps even siblings or distant relatives, or people that you are sort of close to, but maybe you don't see them a lot. Maybe they're away, some physically distant. If there is something going on in the family with siblings or cousins and things haven't been too great, with Venus there's the opportunity for compromise. There's the opportunity to hold out an olive branch and maybe have a thawing of any ice walls that have gone up. Jupiter also in Gemini. This expands the curiosity and the need for learning. It's all about education, studying. It's like you want to find out how things actually work in the world. This is the 25th of May until the 9th of June 2025. So Jupiter will be in Gemini for 12 and a half months, basically, and as it's working its way around the zodiac wheel. And so we could see some major transformations in technology, especially related to communications. We might see more to do with live streaming events. We might see people doing more new apps, maybe along the kind of lines where you FaceTime each other, you see each other's image as you're talking to each other and those sorts of things. But communications are likely to become more important during this time. You'll also see probably marketing and promotion will also become more important, so you can expect more ads, unfortunately. All right, well, that's a quick overview for you. I hope you find it useful. Thanks so much for watching today. I appreciate that. Leave a like and a comment. That would be fabulous. And as I said before, I will have the May horoscopes up in the next few days. Have a wonderful month, everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks and bye for now.